I'm going to go ahead and pull up a map that hopefully you'll all be able to see. But before I do, let's set the scene a little bit, okay? So we're heading towards Oakhurst, I imagine, because this is where all of the action is. Where are you coming in from? Like, where did you start this journey as a group? And you don't have to give me a name. Is it very far away? Is it very close? We can always come up with specific names later if we need to. We're in the Forgotten Realms world, so Waterdeep is the very large city, but there's lots and lots of other places that we could be from. Let me make it easier. How long have you been traveling?
I've been traveling forever.
All right. Yes, but in specific, you've been traveling with us for like.
Yeah.
How long?
How long has this journey been?
I'm like a month. Like I think like because we're level 1, like we're a new adventure. We're like we spend most of our time on our road. We probably have like a couple of utterly meaningless encounters under our belt.
Yeah, that is one of the things. Low-level encounters or low-level adventurers tend to hitch rides with caravans and that sort of thing, and they take time, right?
We've dealt with the tutorial mission of adventurers. I need 5 boar tails from the woods.
The tutorial mission comes in a moment.
You have to kill a slime.
Mm-hmm.
I know which end of the sword to use.
We're nobles. We learned that in school, though.
I know we learned all of our class stuff in school, but like we learned the utter irritating aspect of like why we hate goblins so much.
Excuse you.
I'm sorry,
Goblins
those
are
knives
great.
were pointy and rusty.
Now, you're all people of means. How are you traveling? All of you have coin. So what does your actual sort of caravan or party or it's not just a bunch of people walking. You're way too important for that.
Actually, this might be a thing. This might matter here. So I took the variant noble background thing that gives me retainers.
That gives you retainers. Phenomenal.
I have 3 retainers. They are basically just like attendants, messengers, or whatever. They aren't going to come up, and they probably won't be like diving with us. But that's likely the I have a major domo. I have like somebody to drive or whatnot. They're just like people to do stuff that I don't want to do.
That makes sense to me. So you don't necessarily have to come up with a name or anything, but what kind of person or people are currently carrying you and your squad to your destination?
Can you rephrase that, please?
Sure. Who are your retainers who are helping you out right now?
So I probably have something along the lines of a valet, and maybe like a cook or something.
Oh, I love it.
And
No, I said, oh, I love it.
yeah. Oh, he is fantastic. You just basically, the idea is that they just perform mundane tasks, not fighting.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Excellent. So we'll say you've got a couple of commoners driving you around, and it'll be a nice spacious carriage. We can probably even call it a stretch carriage if other folks decided they wanted to jump in as well, unless other folks decided they absolutely needed to have their own method of transportation. So I'm opening the floor to anybody else on how you are getting around. Yes, Jen.
Can I purchase a mule?
Absolutely.
Can't afford a horse, but a nice little
absolutely
off-haired mule is how I've been getting from inn to inn.
So what you're saying is we now have donkey. Excellent.
Well, a mule, yes. But yes, we now have donkey. It's going to turn into Shrek.
Absolutely. So, Alexis, how are you traveling?
So we have a carriage with horses. Is that what I'm hearing?
Looks like, yeah, a carriage with...
I'm probably renting it.
At every instance, like, I will run out and try to run alongside the horses. Like, that's my daily workout when we're not fighting. It lasts about, like, 3 to 5 minutes, because I'm imagining we're traveling pretty fast, before I come running back into the caravan, like just out of breath. And then that's my workout for this start. It's infuriating to everybody else.
I love it. Jeff, are you with us? I see your camera's having a hard time.
I hadn't considered that, so I was just glancing at the player's handbook for some options. I can still afford getting like a mule and getting a mule and a cart.
Yeah, totally.
Like, it's not fancy, but it will work.
So
I have a feeling he started out like wanting to adventure and do like the hoofing thing, and then as he has not the best strength, and after a day of hiking, he went, "Yeah, this sucks," and just bought someone's mule and cart off of them, and just has been on that since.
Oh, in that case, I will be riding in that cart, and I will be having one of my retainers drive it.
And then we commit and play chess in the back of the cart.
Okay, so I have the map up, but you can't see it now. I am drawing some carts. So it looks like we have at least 2 separate vehicles. Is that what I'm getting?
We would have one vehicle and a mule.
And a mule. Okay, cool. That's totally fine. I did not mean to close that. Annoying.
That leaves me with 1 gold to have all of the stuff for the horse, for the mule. Oh, that's expensive.
And I'll go ahead.
You could always just ride in the cart instead.
And get an animal token, which is maybe... Do I have a mule token? Let's find out. I have a mouse. I do not have a mule. So I'm just going to pretend it's a horsey.
So let me get...
That's legitimate.
Just like in real life, except it doesn't have to be a coin. You remember those days?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be able to zoom
That
in.
will, however, wipe out my GP.
Yeah, it does wipe out the GP now, doesn't it?
I'm down to like 6 GP.
See, I have opted to, instead of going with getting a magical item, just doing a lot of random mundane things. So I can buy the cart.
I'm trying to turn the horse. There we go.
If you're worried about the cart, I'll buy
Okay.
that could be why we're sharing it. I have the mule, you have the cart.
Okay. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I have already added you into the combat tracker. Combat tracker? Wait, who said anything about combat? I'm going to go ahead and drop you into this area here. And I'm going to start by sharing the map with you.
A map.
You should all be able to see a battle map, I hope.
Gosh.
That currently has a carriage and a mule drawing the carriage. There might be a separate mule elsewhere, and that's fine as well. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drop you on the map, and I would like you to go ahead and move yourselves to where you would like to be just as you're going through. Here's the scene that you're setting before I set you down. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and jump into my own face on this. As you are heading towards Oakhurst, you have been walking for days and days and weeks, and it's dusty, and it's been so long since you've actually slept in a bed, and you know, even the half-orc, who is very sturdy and very resilient, would love to just be able to relax for a little bit. You crest the hill. It's probably twilight, it's evening, the sun's going down, and you see in the distance over the next hill the fires and the lights of Oakhurst. And finally, you know your journey is almost over. So you begin to make your way down the hill. You lose track, you lose sight of the town for just a moment. But of course, very soon you will find your way there. I would like you to go ahead and arrange yourself on this board.
You put the second horse right behind the cart.
I absolutely will. I wonder if I can just copy and paste. Can I just duplicate the token? Not
Probably
really.
can.
I probably could, but I'm just going to go ahead and drop another one.
So how do we do the movement?
This one's going to be a go. It should be just no. You click and drag, but I see that you're doing that, and then I get to say, oh yeah, you do that, you do that, you do that.
Oh, okay.
Oh, fantastic.
That's cool.
Yeah. It's just so that you're not all moving at the same time and I get overwhelmed. If you say I'm moving here, I can say, well, just give me a sec,
The worst.
and I can approve that as well. Yes.
I
So
didn't mean to. I was just like, can I touch the horse and grab one? But no.
all right, now where was I? I was making a goat. There's the goat.
You were making my mule Prettyfoot.
Yes.
Your mule's name is Prettyfoot? That's lovely.
I made your mule a
That
goat.
Of a Mercedes Lackey novel.
Oh man, I love it.
Which one?
That Prettyfoot would have come out of the
Is
How am I blanking so hard on this? The Oathbreakers stuff, I believe, if I remember.
Oh goodness, it's been so long since I've read that book, and it's right there.
Oh yes, we have
I know,
Barnabas
right?
as well.
I have a shrine. I have a Mercedes Lackey shrine up there.
Nice.
My mule's name is Battering Ram because that is his relationship with the world.
I saw that Barnabas is clearly riding on the mule at the front. Someone in chat mentioned that. Who was that? That was Joan. So we're going to go ahead and have Barnabas on the mule who is pulling the cart.
Oh goodness, that's so bad for the. Oh, it's fine. It's fine.
No, it's bad for the
fine.
mule, but this is a fantasy setting. It's fine. It's so okay.
Well,
it's fine.
Well, there should be a seat on the cart for where you can sit.
Yep,
Now, really quick, a couple of things about navigating this damn map. It's very, very cool, but it's also very, very frustrating because if I left click and move it around, it'll move the whole map.
Awesome.
The way that I move the map around without moving the map around, like so I can look around on the map, is I hold the mouse wheel. If I hold the mouse wheel, it allows me to move it around.
Oh, that's cool.
And the mouse wheel also allows me to zoom in and out. And when we get to turns, it should automatically center you. Now, there are more features to this, such as each of you will have your own dynamic line of sight, but one thing at a time, shall we? In the dungeon, you will each only be able to see what your character is able to see. But we'll get to that when we get to that. For the time being,
Fascinating.
what are folks doing as you are, we'll say you're probably about an hour tops away. You can smell, the meat that is roasting in the taverns in Oakhurst.
I might propose for Em and I. We are like fiercely in the middle of a game of chess.
What time of the day is it?
We'll say we are coming on twilight, so maybe just after sunset. Like you'll get there just in time for the tavern rush.
Okay, so probably not.
And we are packing up the dragon chest right now.
Okay, that's great. Like we just finished a game. We're about even in terms of win-loss ratio between us.
M,
over. Yes.
is this an open carriage or a closed carriage?
It's cheap, so I'm guessing open.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's a cart, not a carriage, technically. Just mostly because I am far too to go through everything just now.
Nice.
So I'm gonna say at the moment it is open, and if that changes, I will let you know.
Lovely. Okay. So what is, let's see, that was Jeff. Alexis, what is Sherlock doing?
I am thinking very intensively about the meat that is being prepared in the taverns in Oakhurst. So much so that I'm creating, I have maps out and I'm creating a battle plan for the fastest route into the tavern.
You can smell at least 3 different kinds of meat.
I'm detailing to everyone who will listen, which is probably no one. Exactly,
I know we're listening.
Exactly how to get in line. We got to go through the south entrance of the silver-tongued inn. We got to be first in line. We got to talk to Inez about getting a meal ticket first so that we can skip the rush. And we got to get the number 3 special. They make it only on this day. It's really good. They smoke it. It's perfect. This is basically...
This is all you've talked about for the last 12 hours, so...
And what is Clarion up to?
Oh, Clarion is songwriting. Clarion has his lute out, and he's strumming it idly and thinking up, lyrics and stuff. So I'm kind of just doing my thing.
Given the now, this is something I could look up on my own, but I'd like to see I'd like the audience to see how it's or how the sausage is made, as it were. I would like everyone. So, given the actions that you just described to me, I would like everyone to tell me what your passive perception is, please.
Mine is 10.
10.
I
I have a 13 passive.
Okay, 13. It's just 10 plus your modifier. It's as though you took 10.
So then 12?
12.
Is it somewhere on the sheet on here?
If you look at your wisdom the modifier there, add 10 to that, and you'll be good.
Actually, on the front face sheet for where it lists your name and class, on senses.
Actually, no,
there's
that
all
mine is
perception.
Okay, I heard.
Sorry, it was passive because I actually was looking at my skill.
Got it.
Ah.
Got it. Okay. So the reason I asked for passive specifically is because nobody gave me any indication that they were keeping an eye on anything going on outside. On the other hand, Barnabas is actually paying attention as to what's going on outside. So I'm going to have Barnabas, and only Barnabas, make an active perception check to see if he understands what's coming, because none of you see it.
Nope.
So I'm going to open Barnabas.
Yay, the idle wealthy.
I'm going to open up. Yes. Now, and again, I'm doing this partially so that the folks at home can see how this goes from a player character's perspective. Normally, I will not be playing on the side of the player characters, but I want folks to see what this looks like. So, what I'm going to do, and this is the way I go about it, I'm going to go to skills, and I see that my perception has a +3, and there's a little die next to it. So I'm going to pick it up, and I'm going to roll it in the chat. And he gets a 21. Damn, Barnabas just saved all of your asses. Barnabas,
keep him around.
so as you are going forward, and the cart is creaking, and you're arguing about the latest Dragon chess game, or you know, listening to Sherrock talk about all of the wonderful meat that's going to happen. Suddenly, Barnabas sends up the alarm, and like just the plants around you, all of the shrubs around you erupt into motion all at once. And since Barnabas made his check, I will give each of you an active perception. You are looking for a 14 or better. Seuss MD.
I was so close.
Seuss MD
Okay.
is rating with a party of 3. Thank you so much, Seuss. I appreciate you.
No.
How am I rolling active perception?
If you go into your...
Roll a d20 and then I add my modifier, right?
Yes. That's totally fine. You can also go into your skills, and in the skills tab, there's the +5, and you can just drag that right into the chat. So I see a 5, a 5, a 7. Okay, so when I said that Barnabas saved you, maybe what I meant was Barnabas tried to save you.
Hold on. That wasn't a roll. Hold on.
Okay.
I gotta move. I gotta get the chat. How
These
can I have
things-
such a large screen in such a small area? Oh wait, that's persuasion. Sorry, not persuasion.
Thank you, Seuss MD. I
Perception.
appreciate you.
Other P. That didn't do anything. I grabbed.
The little die thing. And then
Yeah, I thought I
chuck
was grabbing the little die thing. It worked to the. Aha! There we go.
Yeah, and you have to drop it into the chat for it to register.
Like, okay, so how do I drop it into the chat? I tried to drop it into the chat and it didn't. Like into the chat window?
Yeah, into the chat window. I am just picking up a random D20, and I'm dropping
ignore that because I don't know what the.
That's just me rolling a random D20.
Why is this not dropping into chat?
Unfortunately, I can't see what you're seeing, but for the moment, go ahead and roll the D20 and tell me what the result is. We'll figure out what's going on later.
I rolled an 8 plus 2, so a 10.
So a 10, okay. I think that's everybody. Nobody rolled a 14 or better. So for the first round of combat, each of you are going to have the surprise condition, except for Barnabas, which means a couple of things. Thing number one, you cannot move or take actions. Thing number two, I am going to give those of you in the cart partial cover because, of course, you have a cart around you. Thing number three, I think the first attack against you has advantage if you are surprised. But chat, go ahead and double check me on that. What I'd like you to do now is on your character sheet, under main, you should see your initiative right literally front and center in your sheet. Click and drag it. It should be right in the middle of the main tab of the sheet. And you should roll it, and it should automatically put you in order of initiative. And I will go ahead and roll for all of the enemies.
The only note on surprise is that if you're surprised, you cannot move or take an action your first turn of combat, and you can't take a reaction until that turn ends. A member of a group can be surprised even if the other parties aren't.
Perfect. So it doesn't grant advantage. Thank you very much for looking that up for me. I really appreciate it. So it looks like everyone's got their initiative in. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. So the first person in initiative is the one, the only Barnabas Boulder Shoulder. And he rolled an 18. And he will take half of his movement to get off of the mule, because that's the way mounted combat works. So he takes half of his movement to get to there. He's a dwarf, so I will say it took him 10 feet of movement. He will move 1, 2, 3 spaces forward. And let me be clear, those of you who are in the cart and behind the cart have no idea why this dwarf suddenly vaulted off of this mule and started running towards the brush. But you figure it out very, very quickly as I move on to the next person. This twig blight, who immediately out of the shadows, out of the shrubbery, and you are absolutely 100% certain you did not see this thing before. It was just a bunch of bushes. Like, even those of you who weren't paying attention, you would know. You would know if a bunch of animated bush things were around you, right? But no, it was just erupts out of the ground, and it's going to take an attack at Barnabas. And the way it's going to do that is I am going to drag its +3 attack, and I am going to drag it onto his, either onto the combat tracker or onto his portrait. There's also a way on your character sheet to set who your current target is. I don't ever use that, but you can totally use that. I'm just going to drag this onto Barnabas. It will roll a 17, which will hit. So I again pick up the damage, I drop it on him, and he will take 3 points of damage from this thing. Second Twig Blight will do the same. It will move forward with its movement. It will take an attack action. It will also hit, so Barnabas jumps out, and like as these things are erupting from the bushes, Barnabas vaults off of the mule and bodily puts himself between you and these animated plants that are suddenly coming at you. Now, when I say animated plants, I don't want you to think something cute like baby Groot or even teenage Groot. These things are only vaguely humanoid in that they are somewhat bipedal. They don't have faces, they don't have distinct limbs. They are gnarled, tangled branches and roots and brush that are coming up to you and trying to attack you. Not quite Seymour from the Shop of Horrors, and not quite wet enough to be Swamp Thing. We're talking like dry, crackling branches coming at you. So that's that. This twig blight here is right next to you. It just erupts right next to you.
Okay, does my mule freak out?
That
Good question.
I was going to treat the mule as an environmental hazard, but I'm totally fine with the. I'd have to come up with stats for a mule, but I could do that. That wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, because I would assume that the mule is going to freak out and I'm going to get unseated.
Well, you're about to have a chance at that anyway because you were just hit. So again, it's just imagine the bush reaching out and clawing at you, and you're going to go ahead and take a teensy little bit of damage, or maybe not so teensy.
Page
that's
307 of the PHB
sorry.
has stats for mule.
Something really quick that just happened in chat that I want to make sure I clarify. I think I accidentally turned on the system shock rules. They're not supposed to be on, so I'm changing that. That's obviously a thing that I did on accident. So I'll change that. So you're not actually stunned. That's not actually a thing. I'll change that. Where is it?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna ignore it for the time being. Oh, there it is. Off.
Yeah, the
Excellent.
system shock rolls at level 1 are absurd.
And I'm gonna go ahead and go into your character.
Amount of damage, but I'm also the squishiest person in the group, I think.
As the sorcerer, hey.
I don't know. I took Constitution was my last bit. I am
then probably.
squished.
Okay, I have removed the stun from you.
Then quite possibly, yes.
But I do need you to make a dexterity save, please. Now, if you look at your dexterity on your main character sheet on the front page,
Yes.
I'll go ahead and pull Barnabas again. Next to there should be saves on the right side. Strength, Dex, Con. You're
Yes.
making a dexterity save. You're aiming for 10 or better.
Oh my god.
Lovely. So we're gonna drop you off of, and actually I'm gonna have you drop on this side. You drop off of the mule, and you fall prone. It's gonna take half of your movement to stand up, but you fall on your ass or off your ass, as the case may be. But a bump bump.
I'm so glad my loot is indestructible.
Sharon, you are no longer surprised at this time, but unfortunately, you don't get to act.
Yay.
Got it.
But tell me, how does Sherog respond since we're here? How does she respond to suddenly the bushes are attacking us?
She will crack her knuckles and find her great axe and get ready to go out.
Oh, what the perfect weapon to deal with living shrubs, like a great axe or a machete. Those are the ones. All right.
Huge thing.
Twig Blight number 1 is going to move over here and take an attack, although you do have partial cover. Now, you can't see this because I've covered it up on my stream, but if you go down to the very bottom where all the dice are, you can give yourself advantage, disadvantage, +2, -2, +5, or -5. Yeah?
Ooh.
And if you hit that, before you make a roll, it will apply that. So I'm going to hit the -2, and it's going to attempt to attack Hyacinth. And it will miss. So it starts rattling the sides of the wagon. Like, it jumps up and it lands on the wagon, and it's not making any sound. Like, it's not screeching at you, it's not hissing at you, it's just rattling the side and trying to reach in and trying to slash at you and trying to stab at you with these sharpened bits of root and twig and branch.
No, thank you.
Hyacinth, you are no longer surprised now, but you'll have to wait until next turn to go. We are also going to go ahead and attempt to attack Sherog. We are also going to take a -2 because of the partial cover. So I am attacking Sherog. And I will deal some damage. And before you got a chance to rage, unfortunately. Is rage a thing you can do at first level? I'm pretty sure it is.
It is. What did they? It was 17.
It dealt 3 damage. The attack was 17. Yes.
Did it hit?
Yes.
My AC is 17.
Yes. You have to meet the AC. You don't have to actually exceed it.
Cool.
So you have taken 3 damage, but it's applied automatically. Let's move on. This one here is going to go ahead and attack the mule.
No, not pretty.
Why is this the
mules
thing
have-
that makes you all sad?
Mules have 11 hit points and have an AC of 10.
I am literally adding it to the
Mule has more
combat
hit
tracker
points.
as we speak. I am adding it to the combat tracker. I'm rolling initiative for the mule. I'm putting it on your team.
Pretty foot.
And we're putting it. Just give me 1 second. Okay, there we go. We've got a mule. It's right there. Excellent. It's gonna attack, or the briar thing's gonna attack the mule. So you.
Not the S.
We're gonna need some hemorrhoid cream.
Amazing. Okay, so it goes ahead and attacks the mule. Looks like it hits. And it'll deal 3 points of damage to the mule. So it comes out, and we're going to say that Clarion is able to kind of, not at all in any sort of cowardly way, make sure that the mule is just safe as possible, but just between you and the monster twigs. You know, you're not being a coward. You're just making sure that there's a nice solid amount of mule flesh between you and the horrible branchy thing. You know what I mean?
You need a big ass between you and them.
You know what I mean? I'm just saying. You are
I like
acting.
a big ass.
You are
So-
acting perfectly courageously. You're just acting tactically as well, is what I'm saying. We'll go ahead and move on. Calder, you are also surprised.
Mhm.
This mule, or no, Clarion, you are prone. Since you got hit and knocked off, this is not in the rules, to be clear. But since you got hit and knocked off your horse, I'm going to go ahead and allow you this one time to take a turn, even though you're surprised, just because I think it'll be good for bringing the encounter along. But this is a one-time thing, so take your turn.
Well, I guess my startled reaction, since I had my loot in my hand, would be to bring the loot down on top of the thing that's attacking me.
Like as you're falling.
No, is it?
Yeah, I guess so.
I love it. I love it. Take the attack. So to do the attack, do you know how? Do you got this?
Okay, so in theory,
I'm gonna move this around so that you can see it easy. You can either drag your attack onto the twig in the map. It's called Twig Blight 4. You can drag it to the Twig Blight 4 in the combat tracker.
So
or
I'm
you
going
can just
to
set your.
be-
I need to have an El Kabong sound effect. That's all there is to it. I'm sure that cartoon's old enough to be in the public domain by now.
So I'm going to
very much thought
drag
that, actually, but-
what? I'm going to drag the dice to it.
Yes. Either right onto the token, and it should roll it automatically.
Sure, but it didn't. Come on. Why you know? I want to attack you.
Let me see if I can figure out what's going on here. So I'm going to jump into Barnabas really quick. So I'm going down to the Actions tab.
Yeah.
First off, what is it you're attempting to do?
I am.
You're bringing the loot down.
Bring the loot down.
So in the Actions tab, there should be a weapon that says club or loot if you put it in there. Next to that
I'm
weapon,
going to change it to
loot. Fair
my
enough.
lady, the loot.
Fair enough. Kestrel, thank you so very, very much for being here. Everybody, give Kestrel a wonderful send-off. She is one of my esteemed moderators. She's been making sure that things didn't get too crazy. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Kestrel. You are absolutely incredible.
Bye, Kestrel.
So in there should be a next to the name, there should be a big-ass die with a plus whatever next to it. And when you hover over it, it should make a hand.
Yes.
So you can click and drag.
Okay, I was dragging the wrong thing. Okay.
There you go. So as you're coming down, you bring the loot down on top of it. Deal some damage, won't you?
Okay,
Same,
so when
Oh,
I
same
you
deal.
did a hit.
1d4 bludgeoning. So
Yes. Next to the attack, there should be the damage right there. It should say 1d4 plus 1, like in the action next to it. You deal
5 bashing.
5 bashing damage. Once again, with the damage, you can drag it directly onto the enemy, and it'll just apply it. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and
I'll
apply
do
it
that
for now.
next time.
Yeah, I can always apply wounds and stuff. So you just dealt 5 points of damage. You kill it. Like as you're falling, your loot comes down. In fact, why don't you describe to me? Because this is kind of a comedy of errors. You manage to
I'm
one-shot the thing
legendary.
as you
I'm
fall off.
falling off of Prettyfoot, who is rearing up out of shock. I have the loot in my hand, right? So I've been strumming like this. As I do this, I actually kind of twist, and it's actually both on purpose and accidental at the same time. But in the song, it will always be on purpose. It just kind of swings like this with enough force to whack it really hard. Because I mean, I'm being drug off my poor mule. It's a lot of force.
Yeah, and loots are not light.
No.
So
Clang.
and to be clear, like it, as you're hitting this, like when I said it's a horrible monster of branches and twigs, I meant that it's a horrible monster of branches and twigs. Like if you take a heavy club and you thwack a bush really hard, it's gonna deal some damage. So yes, you fall down, you fall on your ass. You're still prone, although I will let you use your movement to get up at the end of your turn if you wish.
Technically, they fell off of their ass.
Yeah, yes. Off of and on to. Yes, thank you, Em. I appreciate you so very much. Okay, so
Can I take my movement then at the end of the turn to roll up instead of just stand up?
It will take half of your movement to get vertical. You can still take the other 15 feet worth of movement, yes.
Cool.
So you tell me where you want to go, and I will approve it.
Well, going with the force of what I'm doing, unfortunately, I logically I am going to wind up rolling south, basically.
South is difficult terrain, so that'll be 2 squares per 1 square because you're rolling through a bush.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, just
Totally.
I was attacked by a bush. It was just kind of well, we were going forward, so can I go diagonally?
Yeah, totally. You want to go like right through the bush?
Because
like
he
there?
attacked from one direction. I was on Prettyfoot, and Prettyfoot went like this. So we were going forward, but suddenly I'm going backwards, and it was pulling me this way. So diagonal.
Awesome. You're gonna go diagonal. You roll right through the bush, like that shrub that you just rolled through. You just flat take it out. Your forward momentum, you fall, and maybe by accident, but definitely by purpose, you manage to smash the thing with your loot, and you manage to completely wreck that poor bush that wasn't doing anything other than sitting there as your body very deftly and heroically tumbles uncontrolled through the bush.
I did take acrobatics.
Let's move on. This mule really does not like being hit by thorny things.
No.
So it's going to go ahead and attempt to attack the twig blight. It will roll a 1.
Oh no!
Sad face.
Did you know that mules can kick in any direction?
Yes.
I did know that.
They don't just kick back. They can hit. I know. I know.
Hooves also have reach.
Yes.
Okay,
but
we have
not
Barnabas.
Prettyfoot. She's startled.
So Barnabas again has already taken 2 like really nasty strikes from these two twig things, but he roars his righteous fury and kind of takes a quick glance behind to see how you all are handling the blights behind. And other than Clarion, who is doing absolutely perfectly fine and nobody should possibly even consider It was exactly how it meant to look, is what I'm trying to say.
I wear
Beyond that,
red so you hide the blood.
beyond that, everyone else is pretty safe, right? We've got a little bit of wounds. Everyone else kind of has some cover. So he's going to turn around. He's going to focus all of his wrath, his dwarven wrath, on these two things in front of him. He will go ahead and take a battle axe attack. He will hit.
Yay.
He will deal 1d8 plus 3 slashing damage, and he will slash one of them into kindling. Like the moment he does, he turns back and he goes, "They're easy to kill once you slash them. They're just like firewood. I think we're going to be very warm tonight." I of course had to give him the semi-typical, semi-dwarven accent, and I think that's all he can do. He will move over here so that he is always in between that last monster and you, and since he did not exit a threatened square, he is not provoking any sort of attacks of opportunity. As a side note, 5-foot steps are no longer a thing. That confused the shit out of me for a while, because you can move within the threatened zone as much as you want. It's not until you exit the threatened zone that you get the attack of opportunity. So Barnabas will position himself in such a way that he is he's blocking. All right, who's next? The Twig Blight that's fighting him is just going to go ahead and attack him. But he glances off of his shield, I think. Did I give him a shield? I think I gave him a shield. I'm double checking his inventory because it's been a little while. He
glances off of his shoulder.
He doesn't currently have a shield. So no, he manages to use the wooden haft of his axe to kind of block off the claws of the twig thing. And he starts kind of laughing and kind of chanting a dwarven chant of battle, which I don't have sound for, unfortunately, but I'll make sure to get some at some point. Let's go ahead and move on. Sherrod, you now have a chance to actually act. I'm not going to say that you were prone at all. You're up. You're ready to go. What are you doing?
Can I see the twig? I see I'm in the cart.
Yes.
Do I have access to the twig? It's not like a wall?
So because there is a thing between you, like imagine a low cart. So it will have partial cover, but you can very easily vault out of the cart, land next to it, and then take that attack without any problem.
I'm going to do just that.
All right.
So, move myself here.
Phenomenal. And once again, just for those of you watching at home, I have a chance to say, yes, that's cool, or no, that's not cool, and of course it is. So you vault out. Dwarven battle chants. I think Klingons really probably in Star Trek were based on dwarves. I'm looking at chat. I think Klingons and dwarves are very, very similar. Maybe not based on, but they do have a lot of similar values. Michaelia, good night. One of my longest and most loyal viewers. Thank you very much for being here. Okay, so you vault out, and what then?
Everyone, this is just training for the tavern rush. Be ready, and I'm gonna.
You got a 12, which is, hold on, I'm double checking armor class. Its armor class is 13, I'm afraid.
No.
So you jump off, you're like, this is training, and your axe just like thuds right into the ground with that. You know when you hit me, like if you hit something wrong and you get those like bees up your arm, so you're like unfortunate. You still have a few feet of movement if you want to use it. Anything in the brush is difficult terrain.
I will not disengage.
Lovely.
All right. Yeah. You know what I mean.
I do know what you mean. Twig Blight number 1 is going to continue.
No, I didn't click on. Ignore that.
Oh, yeah, all good. Twig Blight number 1 is going to go ahead and make its attack, but it's going to again take a -2 because of the partial cover. Going to attack Hyacinth again.
Rude.
This time it will manage to
Ow.
hit through the so it manages to like weave its branches and tendrils through the slats in the cart and is beginning to like
Sure.
grasp at and like scratch at your skin and your clothing. And you'll go ahead and take,
My clothing.
well, I mean, it's a plant. You'll go ahead and take 5 damage.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah.
It is now your turn,
That's a
Hyacinth.
lot.
These guys are tough little buggers.
Fudge. Okay, so I'm gonna like, I guess, pull out one of my daggers and just like, over the cart edge, just jam right into its head
Awesome.
or head-shaped thing, I guess.
Totally. I'm even willing to allow you to, if you lean over, you can take the attack without cover. But if it survives, it's also going to not have cover against you next round.
Legitimate and well, you can attack and move at the same time, right? Like in
Absolutely.
the same round, right?
And not only that, and I want to be clear about this because it's again a departure from earlier editions. You can break up your movement however you want. You can move up to your speed. You can move, attack, move, bonus action, move, so long as your total move is your speed or less.
Because they
I'm
realized
gonna end up
that
unconscious. It's
granulating
fine.
it was dumb.
Yeah. So
All right.
what are you up to?
Okay. So toss that.
Oh,
Nice.
beautiful. What a shot.
Yeah. Be stabbed. Be stabbed real hard.
Not bad. So you now
Not
a
bad.
dagger, to be fair, a dagger is not necessarily the ideal weapon. Hold on, I gotta
To attack these things with.
just wanted to showcase them with the dagger. Okay. Anyway, yes, a dagger is not exactly the most maybe efficient weapon to use to fight shrubbery, but you do manage to get some really good cuts in. But it's not like you're hacking it with a machete.
No,
we'll
I
move
only
on.
have piercing weapons. And I'd like to move if that's cool.
Oh, please do. Yes, go ahead.
I would like to move to the front of the cart, over and into basically the driver's seat.
Excellent. As a note, when you leave the threatened square of the twig blight, it will take an attack. I know. I just wanted to make sure. I'm going to go ahead and again with. Oh no, because you took the attack, it will not take the cover. It will just go ahead and give you a normal attack.
Mm-hmm.
It will hit you.
Yep,
So
this sucks.
as you're sort of scrambling across the cart, it's going to grasp at your leg, and you're going to feel just these digging, biting thorns in your calf, like dragging down towards your feet as you're trying to rip your foot out of this bramble bush that's closing around it, essentially. And we'll go ahead and do some damage.
Unconscious. It's gonna be great.
Indeed, it does.
So I'm assuming I do not make it all the way to there, and I actually make it to about there.
Yes. So you get to there.
That sounds about right.
And Hyacinth drops unconscious, and we will start talking about death saves later. Are we going to TPK on our very first game? I'm excited to find out.
I doubt it.
I told you that I wasn't going to try to kill you, but I'm not necessarily going to be.
You're not. You're not
upset
trying to kill me.
if things are difficult, is all I'm saying. 1 silver key, yes, thank you with the F, thank you M with the
You know it.
the F tombstones in chat, but we're not dead yet, so we're fine. It's all good. We're fine. Everything's fine. We've still got a twig blight and a mule trying to fight each other, so that's going to go ahead and make its attack. It'll miss. So this mule is right pissed off at this point, and it turns over, rears up on the twig blight that's trying to attack us, or trying to attack it with these thorns and these twigs, which suddenly look very much like thorns and twigs. I don't know if you've ever been near a mule or a pony or a small horse when they get mad, but holy shit, it is some intimidating stuff. And this mule is not taking any bullshit anymore. So it manages to essentially bat the thing's attack aside with one of its hoofs. And up next is Calder Creed.
Now that I'm no longer surprised, I would like to cast a spell.
Awesome! You're like, holy crap! There are things here. Let's cast some magic.
It is my intent to cast the spell Sleep.
Sleep. Excellent.
Sleep is a fun spell. It doesn't actually require. It doesn't even have a saving throw. I roll 5d8, and that many HP worth of creatures fall asleep.
Yep.
It also targets PCs.
At my selection.
Ooh, fancy then.
So I'm unsure as to how to do it because it just says calls for 5d8 and it has a cast roll. But I'm not sure how that
here's
works.
what I'm going to have you do, and this is a good thing to know. Just go ahead and really fast pick up and don't actually let go yet. Just pick up and drag 1d8 and just hold it, and then right click 4 times.
Fantastic.
So
that was your roll.
That was my roll. You go ahead and roll yours. So 21. 1, 2. So each one of these has.
No, that's total.
Yeah. I'm looking at how many HP each of these has, and I think you got them all. With that wound on the one that Hyacinth hit, I think 4, 12. Yes. Okay. So your spell. Tell me what this spell looks like. What does it sound like? You stand up, you look around, and what do you do?
Because of my specific kind of magic, I'm picturing that I stand up and immediately a wind kicks up around me as I invoke the power. And then as the spell concludes, a black mist erupts out of my hand and tiny tendrils of what looks like smoke spiral to each of my targets and just sort of taps them in the head. And the entire intent is that it's just visiting it is time to nap into them.
And they all collapse into, once again, essentially, like, now that they are not moving anymore, you literally cannot tell them apart from tumbleweeds. Like you can.
And I will say simply, kill them now.
I'm going to go ahead and say we can mediate the rest of this. Because
they're unconscious for a minute.
They're unconscious. Each one only has 4 HP, and when you're unconscious, the first attack you take is an automatic crit. So I would like you to describe to me how is it you dispatched the 4 or so twig blights that are left. Who does what? And I'm just gonna go around and ask each person what they do, and I'm gonna start with Barnabas. Barnabas manages to sort of stick his axe in the thing that he's fighting, and he can't get it out for a moment. And as folks are watching, he's wrestling with this thing, and it's still trying to swipe at him, and he manages to lift the whole thing on his axe bodily up over his head. And then he throws it and the axe into, let's say, a tree, where the axe buries itself into the tree, splitting the twig blight in half in the process. So let's go with. I really want to start with Rachel, or not Sherrock. Alexis, why don't you tell me what is Sherrock doing now that these things are asleep?
Very unsatisfied and sad that she has failed her own training. She's just going to begrudgingly lift the axe and take care of the one in front of her, and she'll be like, "I'm not worthy of special number 3."
Thunk. Just the least enthusiastic critical hit ever.
No one says Barbarian Rage has to be based off of anger.
Like you just let the axe fall.
Motivation's weird.
Oh, I love it. What's Clarion doing now that you have tumbled through a bush and hopefully have finally come to a stop? You do have acrobatics.
Yells
You're
out,
on your feet.
"Hyacinth, no!" and casts Healing Word.
Excellent.
I'm gonna
jump back into the tabletop then. Go ahead and once again in the spell tab, you should be able to just drag the effect onto
one unconscious hair.
So your healing word is no. You're not allowed to die.
No death.
No!
What do we tell the god of death?
Not today.
I'll cut you.
Did that work?
That is what Hyacinth would
that
say
looks
to
like
that.
No, that's detect magic.
You're on the right track though. You did a magic.
Okay, hold on.
I'm gonna look at your.
I see how this is working.
Okay.
Okay,
You got it.
I see how this is going. Okay.
Excellent.
4 whole health.
So go ahead and raise. I will in fact go ahead.
Wait, no,
and go...
not heal cure wounds. It's supposed to be the other one. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
Ignore
No,
that.
no, try it one more time. Try it one more time. Because you're right.
Yeah,
That's cure
sorry,
wounds. You're
I
doing
was
healing
trying
word.
to hit. That's the one that I can do if I touch her.
Yeah.
But I don't think I can reach her.
1, 2.
Because I have to climb
Maybe.
into a cart.
But healing word's a bonus action one way or the other. So go ahead and go for it. And try to drag it onto Hyacinth directly, and I think it should restore the wounds automatically.
Hold on. Okay, let
Yeah,
me
take your time.
I gotta get to Hyacinth. Alright, so here we go. And...
Nice. So now Hyacinth is no longer unconscious. You are prone, but you are only wounded. Wonderful. So, so it looks like this one here, this twig blight number. What number is this?
1.
6. This twig blight number 6 is going to be killed by the least passionate crit ever. just like I said, just let the axe drop and like gravity kills it. Like you're like, not even worth it. The mule is going to trample that thing into the ground and then shit on the pile of branches when it's done moving. That's what the mule is going to do.
For the last one, the one that dropped Hyacinth.
Yes.
I'm just going to give it the most withering glare and invoke my cantrip for frostbite.
Mm-hmm.
And just like it will just blacken over as it just freezes over and is spreading over it until it just turns into black.
Fantastic. So I did just play my ice sound effect. I hope folks enjoyed that. I'm still working all of this out. Yes. So you managed to freeze it, and it shatters into little bits and pieces. So that's all of them.
Jen, is that a cat?
This is Raymond Chandler, yes.
All right, hold on. Obviously, we have to have...
There's a cat. Hold up.
Like, very
it's very invisible right now.
No, there he is.
Oh my god, he is invisible! How do I get him invisible?
Yeah, you have a list of animal companions that you now must somehow incorporate into this list.
You have a plane shifting or you have the Cheshire Cat. That's who that is.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I'm out of a distance because Google Meetups that we're using for this has a really weird idea of how the background should go.
Fun fact, Swedish Geek Ball, you can run Streamlabs as a virtual webcam and run that into Google Meet so that you can use Streamlabs. If you want. It's pretty awesome. It's what I do with all of my tutoring students these days. So, safe, sound, everybody manages to make their way toward the town that you're heading towards. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and give folks a few moments, maybe to react as you're moving on. So I'm going to mute myself for a little bit. You have about an hour worth of travel between here and town. Ready, set, go.
So first of all, after I go out of the carriage to get the dragon chest piece that I chucked at the twig blight after I woke up, that I then had also pulled out of my body because I landed on the chessboard, obviously. And likewise apologize about it. Then I will have gotten back into the cart, just so you know.
Well, I'm going to obviously go try and calm down Prettyfoot. At the same time, I am trying to pull all of the bushes out of me because that decimated bush is now all over my fantastic
You've
outfit.
got leaves in places you didn't even know you had.
You missed one. Is the right? Nope. Lower. Nope. There. Yep. You're not. Come here.
These were new.
I figure that
Yes, Joan, we did.
I figure that one of the pieces was probably broken in Hyacinth's fall, and so I'm thinking it's like taking a suitable chunk from one of the twigs and just pocketing it to carve it into the replacement piece.
I'm also pulling leaves out of my.
I'm vengeful that way. Someone hurt my friend. That is not allowed.
Twing.
How about Sherrock? How is now that her enthusiasm has been dampened a little bit? You can smell meat again. How is the rest of the trip for her?
I'm gonna be doing push-ups to make myself feel competent, and returning very quietly to my battle map of taverns, and like just very quietly strategizing by like moving like pocket change from one tavern to the other and going, yeah, if we attack from the south, we can hit by dinner and have at least 3 courses. Yes.
Very important question. Are you doing push-ups in the cart, or are you doing push-ups beside the cart and then running to catch up when you're done with your push-ups?
I will do them in the cart.
Excellent. Who have I not asked yet? Oh yes, Jeff.
I am definitely taking him because Calder is protective of his friends. I've decided, so will take a much more active role of in observing, but is just sort of like clearly very upset. But because he was not raised as the most emotionally available of beings, he's looking at his friends, going, "You're okay, right?" But not actually saying anything.
Ah, yes. The classic, like, I'm trying to look in all directions at once, but also try to appear unconcerned at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Right, because adventuring is therapy.
That Nerd Max, thank you for the follow. I appreciate you.
Oh my
god. Have I asked everybody?
Even my chair's coming in and out of existence.
Yes, it is.
Who hasn't told me what they're doing between here and town yet? Is that everyone?
Other than that, I'm probably just like lounging.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, I think we're going to go ahead and call that game.
Yeah.
I think that was a fantastic start. We got a really good character development process. I'm going to go ahead and jump back into our out-of-character chat where we can actually see chat.